Welcome to the Sun Island.
Awesome, guys. Welcome back to Sun Island. I am Energy Bridge. I'm super excited today. We're going to be talking about fitness, just life in general, health, the whole nine. I'm excited to be sitting here with Keon Bussey. Hope I'm saying that right.
That's
Keon
right.
Bussey.
Yeah.
And she's the owner of Triple X Fitness and Life Empowerment. Okay. So today, we're going to be talking about a lot of fun stuff, guys. So Keon, what make you want to get into fitness to begin with?
I love that question. So there were a few turning points in my life, if I can start with that. Maybe around, I guess I was about 20-ish, maybe my late 20s. I was suffering with migraine headaches for several years. It was pretty bad. And I was going to doctors. They didn't really have answers for me. I was on medication, and it wasn't a good situation for me. So I just made a decision to start improving my health on my own, holistically, if you will.
Okay.
And wherever I could find answers, research, things that I could do to alleviate the pain, that's basically what I did. But it wasn't until 2015, I had my third baby in 2013.
Okay.
And my baby put a lot of weight on me, and pretty much left a mark on my body. And in 2015, I went through a life change. So I went through a divorce, and it made me look at my life, and I just really decided to go all in on my health, on fitness, and just everything about me. I felt like it was an opportunity to take advantage of becoming the best version of myself. Everything else was falling apart, and I just felt like that was the only thing that I had control over, was me.
Mm.
And so I decided to become a fitness trainer in 2016, and I love the process of improving myself so much. That's what made me want to take the leap into becoming a fitness trainer.
Okay. That's a pretty empowering story. So
Yeah.
it's you had a life-changing moment.
Yes.
Because divorce is real.
It's very real.
And you had you got divorced after your third child.
Yes, I did. Shortly after.
Shortly after there.
Mm-hmm.
So 3 kids,
Yes.
divorced.
Yes.
Sometimes that just spelled a disaster for a lot of women.
You're right.
If I should be real.
No, you're absolutely
Absolute
right.
disaster. Because most obviously, one income is gone, and then oftentimes, you usually get stuck with the kids, and so you could have easily just kind of fold.
You're absolutely right.
What made you kind of stiffen your backbone, for the lack of a better term, and kind of change
And push
use
forward.
that to
Yeah,
change? Yeah.
that's I would say that's my nature, just in general. That I'm a strong person. I feel like I have a strong will and a strong mind, and that it was, like I said, it was the only thing that I felt that I could control. I couldn't control anything else. You made a good point about the income. Things were terrible for me financially. Everything that my life was, of course, wasn't anymore. So why not try something different? Why not try something new? I knew that I would have to move forward in my journey one way or another. Why not work on me? I didn't have anything else to focus on. Of course, my kids were still present
Definitely.
in my life, but nothing else was really flowing.
Yeah.
So I turned all of the energy, as you said, I could have been negative, I could have been bitter. I just turned that energy into a positive and focused on myself.
Yeah. So that is definitely coming from somewhere, though, and with try to get there in a sense. So who is Keon? Like, just kind of go back a little bit, just kind of
Ooh,
growing
you
up, like
digging.
where you're
Yeah.
from, because that's strength. Strength
Yeah.
usually comes
Yeah.
from a very far place,
You're right.
and we're trying to find it.
You're right.
Like,
You're
yeah,
right. I like that.
introduce us a little bit more. Who's Keon
Um,
Bussey? And yeah,
I grew up in a not so stable home. It was rough growing up. My mom was wonderful, very strong woman. So I would say that I got a lot of my strength from her, that willpower, that determination to just move forward no matter what. But my dad was abusive, not so much physically, but mentally and emotionally abusive. So we moved a lot. We moved a lot. I could get very deep into that story, but I won't.
understood.
But that's just the environment that I grew up in. And I think at a young age, I made a decision that my life was going to be different. It gave me something to fight for. It gave me something to reach for. And I saw what I saw. I knew that wasn't normal. Even as a kid, I knew that situation wasn't normal. So I wanted a better life for myself. And I made decisions at a young age that, this is the type of person that I'm going to be. And I think every part of me all throughout my life made steps toward being that person, like very on purpose. This is the type of person I want to be, because I saw what my family looked like and what that situation looked like, and I wasn't happy with that.
Yeah.
So why not build something else? I'm going to do just the opposite. And that's pretty much me. That's, if I can say, that's where that came from. I do believe a lot of it, Sheldon, is God-given.
Okay.
It's built into me. I can always find a reason to dig a little deeper and go further when things look terrible. Yeah.
Yeah, and you've came into building a brand, building a business, as far as Triple X, and what gave you the idea? Because at the end of the day, a lot of people get into fitness, and a lot of people change your life just like that. But what make you want to take it to the next level to actually help others, adding value to others?
Well, as I said, when I first started, when I decided, approaching 40, and that's actually the age group that I target right now, 40 plus.
Okay.
Because that's kind of the age that you decide you got to get serious about some stuff.
Oh my word, I'm approaching 40.
Okay. We'll talk about you.
And I thought about that the other day. I was like, if I don't get this
true?
fitness thing right now, I'm going to deteriorate. So, and I'm in shape. Don't get me wrong. Like, I feel like I'm in decent shape,
Yeah,
right?
you look like you're in
Yeah,
great
but
shape.
I was like, if I don't get this thing right now, when am I going to get it right?
Exactly.
So you target that age range?
That's I went through a few phases.
Okay.
Going into fitness. So you said what pushed me over the edge of just building my own business is when I first got into fitness training, I was working in a gym. And it didn't take me long to see that if I'm going to stay in this industry, I know I'm going to have to be in business for myself. So Triple X was born maybe a few months in of me being a fitness trainer for a gym. And I just began doing things on my own outside of work, talking to other clients, doing some trainings in the park and things like that. And it just grew from there. I already had a life coaching certification from years prior, and I actually have 2 now. So I've since gotten 2 life coach certifications, but that's another thing that's in me. I was the friend that everybody called on for advice.
Yes.
So that life coaching part, that give advice part, that dig down deep and be strong, I've always been great at passing that on to others. Find the positive in your situation.
Yes, yes. That that is such a profound statement. You know, kind of making sure you have the ability to find the positive.
Yeah.
I think we had a recent podcast. We were talking, you know, more psychological or emotional state, and a lot of people have what we call ants in their head,
Yeah.
automatic negative thoughts.
Yeah.
And people beat themselves down oftentimes
Yes.
and never search for the positive. Why do you think that is?
Yeah.
Why do you think people?
Well, because just look at the way of the world, right? There's far more negative than there is positive. And I feel like negative outweighs positive lots of times. So as I said, with my situation, when I felt like everything around me was changing, everything that I knew my life to be was no longer, what's there to be positive about? You know, it's very easy to hone in and say, I don't have this, this is gone, I can't do this, I can't do that. But I think what more people need to do is say, what can I do? And as a coach, that's what I challenge people to do. Okay, I understand you can't do this. I understand you don't have control over this situation, but what can you do? There's always something that you can do. I don't care if it's one little thing. And that's what moves us from one place to the other. We can. It's easy to get caught up in the whole picture. We want to try to figure the whole thing out like right now.
Yes.
But it's okay to not know what it looks like down the road. What one little step can I take right here, right now, that will get me to the next place? And then from there to the next place. That's basically my whole coaching approach. I call it small steps to wholeness.
Small step to wholeness.
Small-
Expound a little bit on that.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. It
Small,
flows.
small steps to
Small
wholeness.
step to wholeness.
That's how we get anywhere in life. Think about it. You building your business, right?
Yes.
Did you start where you are right now?
Absolutely not.
What
I started
happened?
out knocking on people's doors.
One door
just
at a
one
time,
door at
right?
a time. Yeah. Yeah.
That's one small step.
Yeah.
And you just kept doing it and kept doing it and kept doing it
Consistently.
until that's the key word. Consistently.
No matter how I felt, I was talking to everybody I could.
That's another one.
And life happens all the time, and I had
That's
to
right.
figure it out.
That's right.
And when I find myself leveling up, there's new problems to figure out, and I had to figure out those.
There we go.
So I totally connect
That's right.
with that idea that taking small
steps.
small steps. All right, in the fitness area though, why is it so difficult for people to do those small steps? Like,
Because again,
why?
I'll go back to we get consumed with the whole picture. And there's a lot of information out there, right? There's so much information. When you don't know what to do, you just don't know what to do. So if you're
You
consumed,
think it's an information overload
I
type
do.
deal?
Absolutely.
Because you'll go online and you see like 50 YouTube videos and 50 people saying a different.
Exactly. So that's why you must start somewhere. Just start somewhere. I oftentimes tell my clients, forget about going to a gym, okay? Let's just scratch the gym.
Interesting.
Can you walk for 10 minutes a day? Where can you start without being overwhelmed? I just need you to get up and get moving.
The concept of just 1% better.
That's it. So you're doing 0 right now. You're doing nothing. Do you think 10 minutes, 5 days a week would do something? Absolutely. So imagine, okay, if I'm walking 10 minutes a day, 5 days a week, now I've done that for a month, then I've done that for 2 months, and I've done it for 3 months. Where do you think you're going to be now 3 months down the line? In a much better place than where you started, right?
True.
Small steps.
It's that instant gratification culture
Yes.
that's paramount, right?
I agree.
It's like we start and we want to get there immediately.
And start and finish at the same time.
Yes, yes. So I'm gonna probably mess up the quote. So Usain Bolt said something along the line that he trained for like 4 years just to run 9 seconds.
Ooh.
And people start, and after 3 months they
Yeah.
want to stop.
That's right.
You
That's
see where I'm
right.
coming from?
Yes, I do.
So
Yes, I do.
there's a journey
Mm-hmm.
that people don't want to make the sacrifice.
That's right.
And recently I heard something that people give up for a couple of reasons, and usually one of those reasons is pain.
Oh.
Right? But just the physical, because if you don't walk and you start to walk, you're gonna feel back pain, knee pain, ankle pain, all those pain. And that's one of the easiest excuses. Like, you're in pain,
Yes.
we're wired to avoid pain,
That's
and then you give up. How do people get over themselves and get over the fact that this is reality and move on rather than stop? How do people do that?
Yeah. You make a good point. Not everyone does. Just point blank. I can count the clients that I've had over the years that successfully keep moving through and acquire new habits. Most of them just kind of fall off, or it's a yo-yo with them. They're in, they're out. They're in, they're out. It's back and forth. I feel like it's because they never really made the decision. And that's the one thing I say in the beginning. Make a decision. Decide.
There we go.
You haven't decided. You came in, you said, okay, I want to lose weight for a wedding. And okay, that's great, but you want to look good for just one occasion? What about looking good for life?
Right?
You didn't decide. You make a decision. And that's another thing that I challenge my clients to do. What is your why for wanting to do this? For wanting to be healthier in the first place. Make a decision to just be healthy and not lose weight. Let's not focus on losing the weight. Let's not focus on the activity. Just make a decision that you want to be better. And then you will begin to take steps. Your choices, will reflect you wanting to be better. You'll begin to look at everything because you made a choice, a conscious decision to be better. And you'll start looking at every part of your life. I want to be a better person. So I'm going to apologize to this person. I want to improve my diet, so I'm not going to eat these cookies. I'm going to eat a protein bar. You will start looking at all of your choices if you decide. If you don't decide, if this is something you're just doing on a whim or kind of fly by night, you will go back and forth. It's easy to go back and forth when you haven't made a firm choice. I made a firm choice that I'm going all in and I'm not going back. And so every step that I've taken from there, and of course I didn't do it all right in the beginning. I didn't have it figured out. I didn't even have help.
Wow.
Check that out. I didn't have help. I didn't have anyone feeding me nutrition tips, and I basically figured things out on my own, which is another reason why I wanted to go into business. There's a lot to figure out. So let me share my knowledge. Let me help compile it and make it easier for people. Hey, this is basically what you need to look at.
Yes.
You don't worry about all that other stuff. Just make a choice and start taking small steps. That's it.
But unfortunately, most people is like it's the doctor tell them, or they get a heart attack.
Yes.
And it's like, no, it's time to.
That's another story, Sheldon.
That's a whole nother.
I get a lot of that.
Get a lot of that.
I do. Unfortunately, especially with men.
Isn't that like the number one cause of death?
Heart attack. Now it's diabetes.
Diabetes.
Yes.
Yikes. And
Pre-diabetes, I get a lot of people. Yeah, by the time they make it to me, it's because the doctor said they needed to make a change. Unfortunately. Yes.
So takeaway is you don't have to figure it out all at once.
No.
Do one step at a time.
One thing.
From a fitness standpoint, people have to educate themselves, right? That it seemed like we all live our own experience, and we never tend to go outside that.
That's true.
Right? So that's why you have to get the chronic illness for you to figure out that, hey, it's not wise for me to keep doing what I'm doing, right?
Right.
I think they said like a smart person learn from their own mistake, but a wise person learn from other people's mistakes.
That's right.
But the standard American diet makes it super. So I'm not gonna sit here think I make it super difficult, and for me too. For someone because I grew up running track, right, and I have friends who did track, and you know we all approaching our 40s now, and some of them are terribly out of shape. Right. I maintain some semblance of what that would have looked like, right? But the standard American diet of the burger and the pizza and the high carbohydrates and how do you even get around that? Like I can't even get around it. I love M&Ms, I love ice cream, and and sometimes I have too much. How do you get around it?
You make a choice. I was there, Sheldon. Please don't think that at one point in my life I didn't consume all of those things, because I did. But I got to a place where I realized I know this is not good for me. I have to do something better. And when I reached that place, again, I didn't have any guidance. I didn't know where to start. I didn't even know how to choose good food. I just knew I had to move away from that some type of way. And I'm very good at going like cold turkey. I just am.
I can tell you kind of have that, you laser focus. I can tell, not just looking at you, I can tell like, you can be like, it's going to stop. And then
I'm done. Once I'm done.
But that's not the norm though.
That's not the norm. And I understand that. So I don't expect people to move the way I move. Again, where can you start? I can get focused, and make a decision. That doesn't mean I know what to do from there.
It's true.
So when I decided I'm not going to eat fast food anymore, like that was literally just a cold turkey. I'm done with it. I'm so done with fast food. And I just begin to look up recipes. I'm going to cook more. At the very least.
Oh, you know what? I think just talking to you, I'm picking up. It's not even cold turkey for you. You educate yourself.
There you go.
I can see you educate yourself.
There you go.
And then they say he who knows not and knows that he knows not is a fool. You know you don't know. And you educate yourself.
There you go.
And from that education, you're using that to guide your decision.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because you made a good point a minute ago. We know what we know, and we tend to stay within that. So how are you going to know anything different if you don't research, if you don't study, if you don't venture out to know something different? How are you going to know?
So that allows you to kind of have that confidence.
Exactly.
Because again, we are all reaching for a destination. And if we don't think we're going to get there, we give up. What's the point?
Exactly.
But with your knowledge, you know you're going to get there. You just have to figure out how to apply that knowledge. And that makes so much sense. I was trying to figure out like, how are you making these decisions like this? And it's just knowledge. Knowledge is power.
That's it.
That give you that confidence. And I can feel that power radiating off you. I'm like, how is she like, what? But that's good. I'm glad. And I do this podcast a lot to kind of add value to anybody that sees them. And a lot of time I pick up so much from people just through the conversation because I'm trying to figure out the person behind what's, and I can tell it's for you is straight knowledge. You don't claim to know it, but when it comes, you kind of just dig into it. That gives you the confidence. So again, kind of going back to that standard diet, you learn, you pick up, you kind of understand what's good and what's not good. And can you expound? I know sugar ain't good, so you can expound a little bit on it. I don't know, but yeah, I know. I don't think it's good. From all I've heard, sugar. Yeah, what's your take on just sugar in our diet, in the standard diet?
It's the overconsumption of sugar, and their refined sugars are not the best for you. There are natural sweeteners and natural sugars, but overconsumption of it, that is the problem. It's not that we shouldn't eat sweets. I actually love sweets. I love chocolate, but there are healthier versions of it, and you can find things with less sugar in it. And the type of sugar that you're consuming, you have to be conscious of it because it's in everything, like even in small amounts. And it's just adding up everything you eat, especially with drinks, especially sodas. That was the first thing to go for me. Like
sodas.
Yeah. First thing to go. No more sodas for me.
Yeah.
You know how much sugar's in there?
A lot, right? A lot of grams.
Double digits. Yeah, into the 20s and the 30s.
Wow.
In one soda.
One can.
One soda. Now,
but sometimes it just hit the back of your throat so good, though.
See? I heard Steve Harvey say something recently that he was a slave to his taste buds. I said, and that's the problem, too. We're slaves to our taste buds. And I like food that tastes good.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. It does not have to be bland. It does not have to be flavorless. But I am watching the sugar. I am watching the sodium and all of those things as a whole. And again, I heard this too. I want to share this.
Yeah.
I read an article about a guy who was overweight. And he knew he had to lose weight, right? So this really resonated with me. He didn't know what to do. He just knew he had to lose weight.
Okay.
All he did was stop drinking sodas.
Wow.
He was drinking, he explained.
Must have been drinking a massive amount.
2 liters a day, yes. And all he did was cut out sodas. He started drinking more water, and that was it. In about a month's time, he lost like 15 pounds just with sodas. That motivated him, right? That was a small step. Then he began to walk. He started walking around his neighborhood for 15 minutes a day. And from there, lost more weight. The before and after picture was amazing.
Wow.
But all he did was kept going. That's it. One small decision. That's just to paint a picture of how much sugar and how, you know what I mean? What it can do to you. And if you make that one small change, how much of a difference it can, it can make in your diet.
Yeah. And people don't understand how just like, because we live in a capitalist economy, everything is designed for profit.
Right.
And it's not the fast food joint problem or even their concern, because their concern is to make profit.
Absolutely.
To know or to technically provide healthy stuff for you, right? I mean, it's our job. It has to be our own job to kind of figure out what's healthy, but kind of go back to the point of informing yourself. People kind of just go on with the standard. That's the norm, and that kind of become overbearing for some folks. They never really get out of that cycle. There's other, just buzzword in the health or fitness industry. We talk about sugar. What's this obsession with carbohydrates and why some people are so scared of it? And help me understand, please.
That's to me another. It's hype. It's hype and it's misinformation. You have to educate yourself. Read and know, again, like you said, what's good for you. You have to know your body and what's good for you. Now, just naturally, just scientifically, as humans, our body prefers carbs as a form of energy. So it's not wise to completely cut them out. Your body prefers that as an energy source over fat. But again, I'll go back to the kinds of carbs that we're consuming. Yes, too much sugar, the processed junk food, those are the things that are not good for us. I can name a ton of healthy carbs, right? Sweet potatoes, vegetables are carbs. All of those things are good. So they'll give you a form of sugar and starch, but your body knows what to do with a natural food as opposed to a processed food.
Processed food.
So that's where the misinformation comes in when people say just cut carbs. No, really what they mean is cut junk. So let me help you with that one.
Right. Let's cut the junk out.
If you're going into the convenience stores and you're grabbing those things in packs off of the shelf, anything basically in boxes and packs has, if it doesn't say minimally processed, which is okay, it's okay from time to time to get things that are minimally processed. We want natural food as much as possible. But if it's over processed, it's probably not good for you.
So like natural whole
It's been
foods.
altered. It's been altered in some kind of way. And so that gets into your body, and your body says, what is this?
Yes. Your body say, what's going on,
And
right?
it doesn't know what to do with that.
Oh, man. We have touched on a lot of important points, and for the lack of information, like I'm trying to get in shape because I'd prefer to be in better shape than I am now, but who aren't, right? And it just got overwhelming because first I'm looking online and they're talking about these macros and these micro and then count the carbs. And I'm like, oh my word, how do I ever figure this thing out, right? So for somebody like, for me, somebody like myself who's trying to get in and to kind of understand the basics, like what are the basics?
This is where I would tell you to start. What are you eating now? Like tell me what your diet is. Give me a typical day.
Typical day. Wow, I'm just putting stuff out there, right?
Yes, you are.
Breakfast. Sometimes that could just probably be an egg and maybe oats sometimes, or cornmeal porridge, or maybe not having breakfast, or a smoothie sometimes.
Okay.
Or sometimes I just totally skip breakfast. And it's weird because of the nature of my work, it's not uncommon that I just totally forget lunch.
Yeah.
Like even if my breakfast is not even a lot, I'll just be going, totally forget lunch. And then dinner, it's just probably rice and chicken or rice and beef or ground provision or stuff like that. And so it's not like, that's basically what it is.
I don't hear anything terrible. It sounds like you're on a good track, that it sounds like healthy food. How you prepare it, that's another thing. Fried foods, not the best. So if you're telling me you want to be in better shape, which I'm assuming as a guy, you want more muscle.
Yes.
Or you want more size. Am I right?
A little bit of both.
Okay. Then that is another level of food preparation. And then it's probably not a good idea to skip lunch. So you have to be very on purpose about at least having 3 meals a day, and your food preparation is key. I would just say steer away from fried things. Anything fried. Oily, too much fat is not going to give you what you want. You actually want more carbs. So you want the rice, brown rice. You want sweet potatoes. You want the veggies. You want the spinach.
Yes.
You need far more sustenance as far as You can, like the calorie count, and I won't even get into that because I'm not a big calorie counter.
Got you.
But you can pile up on veggies and a protein and be totally full and get that nice lean body that you're going for and gain the weight.
And gain the weight, right?
That's typically what guys want. Yeah, I don't hear anything terrible.
Yes.
I think you just have to be more on purpose with being consistent and like preparing your meals. That's key. Having your food ready.
Yeah. So what about heavy weights? What's your opinion on that? Because a lot of people they do different type of exercise, and some people say you gotta have heavy weights. Some people say no. What's your opinion on that?
I don't think you do. If that's your preference, if you like that. I know again that tends to be what the guys do. Again, it's about consistency. You can have a very good body weight regimen and just be consistent with that and build just as much muscle with the right diet. I cannot tell you how key your nutrition is and getting that energy source at least 3 times a day when you're wanting to build that way.
I'm not sure if I'm gonna be sounding like a hater or not, but I think a lot of people are just doing that steroids. Are they?
Oh,
Is it a thing?
That's you know.
Are they though? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know those people. So
I think
I'm
some
sure.
people
You
do.
know, I'm sure some.
But what are some of the
guys
negative? What are
hey.
some of the negative impact of steroids on your body?
Have you seen like former bodybuilders and have you ever heard stories like they get like terribly ill in their older age?
Really?
Die from kidney disease. That is the result of things like that. Yeah, the overconsumption of the creatine, and it's murder on your kidneys. So a lot of those guys, if you research, they don't do well in their older years.
So that's like that's the definition of wanting it now.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah, you can do all kinds of things to get the look, right? That's what I was saying before. I'm not that coach. If you just want a look, if you just want to lose weight for a wedding, I'm not the coach you want to call. Yeah. I actually want to help people with their lifestyle. I am a lifestyle coach. If you want to organize, if you want to prepare your home in a way that makes it less stressful for you to get ready in the morning, I'm that coach.
Yes.
If you want help with your meals, you want to eat better, that's the kind of coach that I am. So tell me you want to change your lifestyle. We can start with nutrition. Wherever you want to start, I'm okay with that. But for instant appearance,
no. It's more of a...
No, because that's not lasting. That usually doesn't last. And like I said, I'm looking for people that really just want to be healthy just for the benefit of feeling good in life, in daily functioning, which is why I target the older group.
Gotcha.
Don't you look at it differently now?
Oh, yeah.
The older you get,
absolutely,
you see it.
Fitness for me really is so I can have the type of activity with my kids and not ruining their fun.
Exactly. Or you're too tired.
Or I'm too that's what I mean, like ruining their fun. Like I can't keep up.
Yes.
You see? So that's really what fitness is for me.
Okay.
The more people get in tune with their physical health, I would imagine that help them mentally as well.
It does help you.
You want to expound on that a little bit?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. You have to be on purpose about that as well. I like to do something called a daily sit. I am a self-evaluation junkie. I love to sit and just ponder on my own thoughts. And I'm a believer, so I do it with God.
Absolutely. Okay.
So that's my prayer time. That's just me evaluating me and what I can do better. And because I'm so in tune with myself, I often feel when I'm off track, or what I call off track. Others would look in and say, oh my God, no. But I know. I know if I can step it up a notch. My thing with me for myself is to always operate at my fullest potential. If I'm not operating at my fullest potential, then I don't feel that I'm doing my best every day.
You know what I find with people, like how you kind of describe yourself? Because most people are not like that.
Yeah.
It's hard to connect.
I know.
Because like you're always talking two different languages.
No.
How do you find your core, or that group of people that share that type of, because you said it, you're self-evaluation junkie.
Yes.
That's like intense.
That is
like
intense.
and that's good. That's great.
Yeah.
But no, I mean your circle has to be that in order for that to even last. So how do you find
We won't go there.
how do you even find that type of, camaraderie or people around you to kind of help motivate you and help you level up?
It's hard. It's hard. So if I could be totally honest, I motivate myself. It's rarely do I get influence from other people. There was a period in my life where I did reach up. I was in Mary Kay for many years. I was a Mary Kay consultant. Loved the business, loved the culture. I learned so much from those ladies. So I would honestly say that I took a lot of that away, and it's now a part of me. It's now a part of my life. So I reach in. I reach within because I have all of what I need, right? Once it's kind of like going to school. That's how I like to describe the wellness process. You go to school for so many years, right, to get your education. So when you leave, you now have the tools that you need to go forward. Okay? So once you leave school, it's not that you stop learning. It's just that you got the core of what you need and now you know what to do. You just go and apply it with experience. That's the process of wellness. You go through a period where it's a growth process. And again, you never stop growing. You just have the core values and the base of what you need. So I feel like I went through that period. I don't need another conference. I don't need another book.
Yes.
I don't need anything. Like at some point in life, you reach a mature place, you know what to do. And from there, it's just a matter of walking it out each and every day. You know what to do. Just get up and do it each and every day.
Each and every day.
Whether you feel like it or not. That's the mature part. That's the development part. That's being mature and recognizing when you're off track.
Any success story, like client that you've worked with that you're like, hey, that guy or that girl, they took it on and they slayed that dragon.
Yes.
Hey, you want to share that story?
Yes. I had a client. She's actually a very good friend of the family. So her son and my son grew up together, and we've known each other for many years. So I know her story. She had multiple strokes, recovered every time. So she's a super strong person. And when I got into fitness, she found out she wanted to train with me, and she did for a little bit. But the beginning, she wasn't really ready. She didn't really make a decision. She wasn't committed. So she started, and then she stopped. And we didn't talk for a while, but then she finally made a decision to come back. And she said, I'm going to do it this time. And she did. She trained with me. I was doing virtual training during the pandemic. I did a live, a nutrition course. And I did it live. I had about 5 or 6 ladies on. She was one of them. She took that nutrition information and ran with it and completely changed her diet. She showed up regularly for the virtual group training and just blew my mind, her level of commitment. She ended up losing like 20 pounds for the period that we were working out. And like I said, she already had some chronic illnesses.
Yeah.
She actually has fibromyalgia and arthritis.
Wow.
So she was in pain. Some days she would work out and she wouldn't even say anything. She would just continue through. And after about 2 or 3 months, she just came to me and she was like, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful that you've helped me, move past this hurdle. I think our time together was about 6 months. So we trained together for about 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And then she just went off on her own. And she's continuing to do
Mm-hmm.
it. I saw her recently and she still looks amazing. She's still on her diet plan, staying consistent with her food, still exercising. So yeah, that's one example of a person who got it and just moved with it.
So just looking at you, you're in great shape. You glow.
Yeah.
You
Thank
glow.
you. Thank
So
you.
do you get a lot of women just kind of look at you and be like, I want to be like her?
Yeah. And see,
How do you temper that though? Because everybody is unique,
yes.
And sometimes everybody want a specific look or a specific, you know what I mean? But one way is not for everybody. Like how do you shape their expectations for them to want to be motivated, knowing that they'll never look like you? I don't know if I'm just being too real, but
Right. That's funny. Well, one thing I say is, remove that, right? Remove, not to discourage them, but to be realistic. You come in this for the reason of, again, wanting to be better, and let the result be the result. All I want you to do is stay focused and stay consistent on the task. Let's just do that. And then we can start evaluating the results. But if you come in looking for something and then you don't see it, then you think you failed, right?
I think you said it earlier, actually, because you said, that's not the client you want. You said that exactly that earlier. You said, if that's what you're looking for,
then
you're trying to look for a lifestyle.
I can't promise you that. I am in no position to promise anyone anything, except that if you stay consistent, you know what? I can promise you're going to see results. That's hard not to when you're being diligent, when you're walking in excellence, which is what one of the X's stands for in Triple X. When you're walking in excellence and you're doing what you said you would do, the good will come back to you. As you said, it's coming around one way or another.
So stress is huge.
Yeah.
What's your take on stress control and how fitness or health or nutrition affects just your stress level?
Yeah. Certain foods can actually cause stress.
Interesting.
Yeah, some foods, especially if you don't respond well to it, if your body doesn't respond well to something, can cause anxiety. Some foods also do the reverse. They make you feel good. So you need to be educated, again, on what's good for you and what's not. That's a personal journey right there just by itself, because what's good for me may not be good for you. So food plays a part, like you said, in stress. You want to pay attention to that. I'll go back to that daily sit of evaluating yourself and processing your feelings. Taking a moment to process what's going on in your life. If you wake up and go through each and every day and you haven't dealt with yesterday's problems, you'll end up with a buildup. And you just have not taken the time to sit and process. You have to take time for yourself.
Because what I do, I'm in sales, and I see that oftentimes with sales rep that doesn't last. Because sales is like a sport, and if you're in sales and you don't look at it as a sport, you're not in the right career.
Right.
And like how a athlete have to forget their defeat. And even forget their victories sometimes. I know that today is the day to have a good day or a better day.
There we go.
But you're saying to get there, we have to unload.
Yes, you do.
And we have to evaluate. Sounds like some type of meditation or getting closer to your creator, or just having a good concept of where you are mentally.
That's right.
In order to move forward. You touched on two things earlier that I wanted to kind of rehash. You said, what's your why?
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of Simon Sinek. Everybody that works here at Sun Island watch a video called Start With Why. Simon Sinek, it's get like millions and millions of views, and he's basically saying that if you don't have your why in place, it's like you have no direction.
Right.
Another book that I recommend to everybody that comes in, because I try to influence my circle, and I try to increase that sphere of influence. And folks that come around and say, hey, read this book, Think and Grow Rich.
Right.
And it has to say desire. And you hit on those two things, which is have a strong desire,
Right.
and have a strong why.
That's right.
If you have both of those, you'll definitely conquer the world. But you tell people in general, your demographic, right? Your target people that you would recommend to work with you. In your experience, like the folks that you target, 40 plus, why should they be fit? That's basically what it is. Why should they be fit?
Why should they be? Well, longevity. You have to decide how you want to live the rest of your life, in what condition you want to live the rest of your life, or do you want to live some years, just point blank, because people are dying so young. 50 to me that's not old.
Absolutely not.
And I mean, people are dying now at 50 from heart attacks, and 40 years old from heart attacks, and diabetes, like I said, is running rampant. So it's just a matter of longevity. Do you want to live long? And how? In what condition do you want to live? In 40 years of agony and pain and suffering and medical bills? Or would you just, I say there are two types of pain, right? So there's the pain of not pushing through and suffering, and then there's also the pain of pushing toward better. So which one will you choose? Yeah,
that's profound. It definitely was a pleasure.
Same.
It was a pleasure having you,
Sheldon, for
spending
having me.
the time with us.
Thank you.
I as I said, you have a glow about you that resonates, and it just kind of being in your presence. I'm like, yeah, I think I need to step up my fitness game.
Don't do too much.
No, I won't.
Little at a time.
A little at a time, right? But it was great having you on.
Thank you.
This topic is so insightful that people are going to want to learn more about this. So this is kind of like another formal invitation for you to come back at some point.
You make the call.
Right? And we'll dig into more. But one love.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Awesome. That was cool. I like that.